So I will first explain why it is important to be able to interpret the result of machine learning models. Then I will introduce some tools that you might use to interpret the result of machine learning models, and then I will conclude about how you could potentially make the most of ML techniques in the context of predictive modeling. So let's start with why interpretability matters. So what is the problem that we are facing usually as an actuary? We want to develop models, for example, supervised learning models, so where we want to explain a target variable, this variable y here, in function of a set of explanatory variables, the x. Think about insurance pricing, for example, where you want to explain the frequency or the severity in function of the characteristic of the policyholder. And of course, we try to map these inputs into the output and find some link, some mapping between these inputs and the output target variable. Of course, with classical statistical technique like generalized linear model, the result that you obtain might be relatively easy to understand. For a few years now, actuaries, of course, are using also machine learning techniques that allow you to obtain a best prediction, so best prediction for your target variable. But these techniques have usually some drawbacks, and the main drawbacks is that these are usually black boxes. So you don't know exactly what happened in this box here, okay? And so, of course, this is a problem when you are doing, let's say, analysis that you have to share with other stakeholders. It might lead to problem. So when you are thinking about using machine learning in your day-to-day job, there are potentially two ways of doing it. Either you will replace the traditional models, for example, GLMs, with machine learning techniques, or you might try to combine both types of model and the pros and cons of these both type of models. So first question, are all models interpretable? There are some models clearly that are intrinsically interpretable, so it means that you can understand easily by looking at the result of this model what happens inside the box I have mentioned a few seconds ago. This, once again, will typically be the case of a generalized linear model, but also simple machine learning model like regression trees might be also interpretable, so you can understand the result and explain them to other person. But most of the machine learning models will not be interpretable by themselves. So you have this black box in the middle, and you don't really understand what happens. And so in this case, you might need to develop some techniques, some tools in order to be able to better understand what happens in the black box. And why is it important to understand the result of your model? Because obviously, as actuaries, you understand the mathematics, or you could understand the mathematics behind the model. You could develop some tests, goodness of fit test, or cross-validation technique. I don't have the time to discuss extensively about machine learning models. But you are not alone in your company, and usually you have other stakeholders with who you have to interact, okay? And these stakeholders might not be quantitative person. There might be people from the sales department, marketing, management, whatever. And it's important to be able to explain your result to them, because at the end of the day, you do not develop a model for the beauty of the art, but of course to help in the decision-making process, okay? And so I think what is important as an actuary when you potentially plan to use machine learning techniques is to be able to assess which type of model you have to use in which type of situation. And usually, you have to find a trade-off between three elements. The predictive power, of course. You want your model to be as predictive as possible, but you want also to be able to explain the result of this model and to be able also to take sound decision out of this model. And so this is really important, in my opinion, to be able to discuss with the different stakeholders in data science project. Probably the key success factor is to be able to involve people from the business from the very beginning in order to understand their problem, to involve them in the project, share the result with them. And so you should understand what are, who will use the result of your model, what is the purpose, what can be the potential impact. And in function of this, the answer to this question, you will select, let's say, a more complicated machine learning model because the goal will be to have the best prediction, or it might be that in some case, the goal will be to be able to explain to other people. And in this case, it might be that the best model is not the more complicated, but the one which is interpretable and explainable. So I took a few minutes on this because I think this is really key when you are an actuary working in an insurance company or as a consultant. And so in order to help you, let's say, explain the result of your machine learning model, but there are, of course, a few techniques that might be used. Of course, it will be here a very quick introduction. We could speak about this for hours, if not days. But the goal is to give you a quick, high-level overview. So first, what you have to know, you have two types of interpretability tools. First type is used to understand globally the result of the model. So you will want to know what are the variables that are really impacting my target variable, how each of these variables is really impacting the prediction. Are there some interactions between the variable that will have an effect, an impact on the prediction? So this is global interpretability on one side. And on the other side, you have local interpretability. So there, you will want to know for a specific prediction, so for a specific data point, what are the drivers of this prediction? Okay, so you might want to do it for one specific prediction, but you might want to do it also for, let's say, a set of data points, so for a group of data points. Okay, so there are a lot of techniques that are developed. This is really a hot topic in the scientific literature for a few years. The idea is to rapidly spot a few techniques that you might find useful in the future. The first one is obviously features importance. The goal here is to identify what are the variables that are the most relevant. When you are in a statistical framework like GLM, you have p-values, statistical tests that you might use to identify the important variable. When you are in a machine learning framework, by default, the result of this machine learning technique do not give you an indication of the importance of the variable. So you might apply afterwards this kind of tool in order to identify what are the real drivers, what are the really important risk factors in my model. Okay? So there are different techniques and some variation of these techniques. I have put some examples here, but I don't have time to go into the details. But this is clearly the first tool, probably already well known by some, if not most of you. Then the second tool is called partial dependence plot or partial dependence function. The goal here is really to understand the impact of one variable or two variables. If you want more, it's possible, but you cannot represent it graphically, of course. So here, one variable, what is the impact of this variable on the prediction? So for example, here, we have the variable age, and we want to understand what is the impact of this variable age on our target variable, which is here a claim amount. Once again, when you use statistical techniques like generalized linear model, this graph might be an output of the model. So you can easily build this kind of graph. When you are using machine learning techniques, this is not something that is an output by default of the model, so you have to build it. And the idea is not so complicated to understand. So let's say that here I have a simple example with only two variables, the age of the driver and the driver experience, the license age, that will impact the frequency of claims, okay? The idea of a partial dependence function is to say, okay, if I want to compute the impact of age for a specific age, for example, 20, I will simply replace all the age here by the value 20. I will run my model on this new data point, this data point that I have created, that are not the real data point of my database, and I will I will run this model to obtain the prediction, and I will average all the prediction here to obtain the impact for age 20 on my frequency. And of course, I do it for age 21, 22, etc., to be able to draw this kind of graph. Okay, so you see it's not so difficult. Of course, it takes a lot of time because you have to run your model a lot of times on your complete database, but it usually gives interesting result to understand the marginal impact of one variable on the target variable that you want to explain, in this case, the frequency of claims or the severity of claims. There are other derivatives of this technique, but I will maybe skip this one. Another tool which is also interesting in machine learning techniques is to be able to detect interaction between variables. When you are in a statistical setting, for example, generalized linear model, these models have constraints, and they are not able to capture interaction between the variables, okay? This is an advantage of machine learning over statistical models, because in machine learning techniques, by construction, let's say, these techniques allow to capture interaction between variables and that are impacting the prediction. Okay, and so it's interesting to understand, once again, because these interactions are in the black box, so you don't know them if you do not analyze the black box. So it is interesting to have tools that allow you to detect these interactions. Okay, and so this age statistic allow you to really spot which are the variables that are interacting the most with all the other variables. This is, this is here one-way interaction. And when you have identified the variable interacting the most globally with the others, you can check for this variable the interaction with each of the other variables. So it's two-way interaction. And so, for example, here you have the age and the split variable that are interacting the most. And this is interesting because if you want, at the end of the day, if you want to use, at the end of the day, a statistical model, but here you can identify interaction and create a new variable that you will introduce in your GLM. So you can use this technique as a kind of pre-modeling, in a kind of pre-modeling phase to, let's say, do some feature engineering. So to create new variable that you will use in your statistical model. Okay? So it was very quick, but it was a few examples of techniques that you can use for global interpretability, so to understand globally your model. There are also some techniques that will allow you to understand locally your model. So to understand for one specific data point, how the prediction for this specific data point was obtained. One of these tools is the Shapley value, and the idea here in the Shapley value is to try to compare the actual prediction for this data point with the average prediction over my whole portfolio, and to identify what are the drivers of the difference between this actual prediction and the average prediction. So here the difference is around 2,000 euro. And with the Shapley value, you will be able to really look at each variable impacting the prediction and see for the specific value of these explanatory variable in my data point that I want to explain, what is the impact of this specific modality on the cost. So for example, here, with an age 52, you have an increase of your average cost by nearly 5,000 euro. With a BMI, rather high BMI, you have also an increase of the average cost. But this is, in this case, compensated by the fact that this policyholder is a non-smoker, and these characteristics will reduce a lot the average cost. So it might be useful to apply this technique when you want to understand what happens in specific data points. So if you create some, let's say, outliers prediction, for example, to better understand what are the drivers of these specific predictions. Okay, so that's it for the tools, at least for a quick introduction. So having that in mind, how could you make the most of machine learning techniques in the context of predictive modeling? Once again, I come back to my two strategies presented in the introduction. So either you can decide to replace your statistical model by more advanced machine learning techniques, or you can try to combine the pros of both families, let's say, of both types of techniques. If you want to replace your traditional model with machine learning model, but obviously, as it was stated in the introduction, the drawback is that the results of your machine learning techniques will usually be a black box, okay? So you do not understand what happened inside the model, and it's difficult to explain to other stakeholders. And in this case, it might be useful to use some of the tools that I have presented rapidly today. So for example, feature importance to assess the relevance of each of the variables that you have introduced in your model, so to understand what are the key drivers of the prediction, these partial dependence plot, etc., that will allow you to assess the marginal impact of one specific variable on the prediction, and the Shapley value that might help you to understand the prediction for one specific data point. And my last slide is the other strategy that might lead you to combine traditional and ML models. So you might want to use machine learning model as in a pre-modeling step, or also in a post-modeling modeling step to better understand the result if you want. And so you might use this to select the most relevant feature. Let's imagine that you have 1,000 features available. If you introduce that many features in a generalized linear model, probably it won't work, the model won't converge, etc. And so it can be a good strategy to first enter these variables in a machine learning model to extract the most relevant, and then use only like the 20 more relevant variables in your GLM model. It can also be used for feature engineering, so creating new variables, so for example, interactions that you will introduce in your model. So that's it for my presentation. Here, two references, in particular the first one, if you want to get a quick introduction to interpretable machine learning, this one is really great. So I advise you to start with this one. And we have also, some colleagues have also written a white paper that is available on our website. Okay.